Hi, thanks again for joining me in my shed. It's very sweet of you to be here. I'm Rosie and this is episode 3 of Reloading with Rosie. And today we're taking a closer look at reusing old cases. As ever, I've got a very special guest popping by to share their expertise and load with me. Today it's the Godfather of Reloading, Laurie Holland, who will be helping me reload. Hello, Laurie.
Hello there, Rosie.
Thank you for coming.
And thank you for inviting me to your shed.
So can you tell me, reloading, what is the fuss all about?
Well, reloading is a really good way of enhancing your shooting. You are creating bespoke ammunition that is set up exactly for your rifle, and it should shoot better than factory ammunition, which at the end of the day is made to a single standard, and it's a bit of a luck of the draw whether it really shoots well for you. Then on top of that, hand loading can save you a great deal of money. Or alternatively, as in my case, I don't actually save any money, but I get a great deal more shooting for my money, and therefore I get more pleasure out of it. But I'm sure you didn't invite me along just to talk about this. You want to know something, don't you?
Yes, I'm really looking forward to learning from you. So can you come behind my shed and teach me? So far, I've been getting to grips with different case prep and full length sizing.
Right, well, full length sizing, and this is the full length sizing die that is in the press at the moment, it's a very good way to size your cases. I probably size the majority of the cases I use in my ammunition that way. However, there are alternatives, and the main alternative is what we call neck sizing, and this is a neck sizer die. Looks the same from the outside as that one, but it does a different job. It only sizes the neck down, not the case as a whole.
Okay, and why would you recommend doing it that way?
Right, well, if you take the case, when it is fired in the rifle, it expands. It's a process that we call fire forming, right? And in the course of several sizing and firing cycles, that case is constantly being expanded, then it's being squeezed down again in the die, expanded, squeezed down. And we work the brass very hard indeed then, and that can affect case life. After a few cycles, the case can, the brass can weaken and you start to get splits and other problems. So by neck sizing, hopefully, we extend the life of the brass a bit. We're being a bit kinder to it. But there is another benefit as well, is that many people believe that neck sizing makes for a more accurate cartridge that performs better in the rifle. And that is because we're only sizing down that little bit at the top of the cartridge case, the neck, that holds the bullet, and we leave the body of the case and the shoulder alone in the fire-formed condition. So when we next use the loaded round in the cartridge, the case is a better fit in the chamber, it's better aligned with the barrel, and with a bit of luck, it shoots more accurately.
So I've been given this new iron press to use with a full length die. Is it a lot of work to swap between the dies?
No, it's not actually, Rosie. The beauty of the Hornady system is that the dies are held in a bushing, this cup here that screws onto the die, a quarter turn, you lift it straight out. And once you've set the die up, you just leave it in the bushing and it keeps it setting. So this is the neck sizer die which we have set up earlier as the one that we did before, as you see in Blue Peter. Right, it's in the bushing, we put it in, give it the quarter turn, and there it is. It's all set up for you. If you want to go back to the full length sizer die, quarter turn out, put the other die back in, quarter turn, it's set up. Okay. So, shall we have a go at neck sizing? Please. Yeah? I'll just put a little bit of lube on the outside of the neck, and we'll slot it in, and over to you to pull the handle. Right, that was easy, wasn't it?
That was so simple.
Yes.
You can do them in no time.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot less work necking the sizing the neck down on its own than it is sizing the whole of the case body. Yeah.
So, is it powder next? No,
we have one more step before we can get to that, Rosie. If you remember, when you sized the cases, you punched the old fired primer out, and we need to replenish that component before we can put any powder in. The primer fits here in the base of the case in this little pocket, and we're going to put a new one in using the Hornady priming tool. But before we do anything with primers, pushing them into anything, we'll put some eye protection on. Although it's a very safe process, there is a very small amount of risk, and eyes, you can only get one set of eyes, unfortunately. The Hornady priming tool is a magazine model. It holds a considerable number of primers in here. Turn them all over, flip them so that they face the right way, and they're fed through a gap here into the shell holder where the case fits in. The shell holder, incidentally, is the one that comes off the press, so there is no need to buy an additional special component for this tool. So I'll just have a quick look. The primer is there, it's come through, it's in position. Slot the case into the shell holder. So you do the honours, Rosie.
Thank you. Easy, all done.
Right, there we are. That's proper. That's very well primed. The primer is fully seated just below the lying flush with the case head. And that now means we've got a size case, we've got a primed case, and we're able now to go on to the next step in the process, which is to weigh powder and pour it into the case.
That's actually what we're talking about in my next episode. So we're all done for today. Thank you so much for coming into my shed.
And thank you for having me.
I could definitely stay here all day, but I know that Laurie's got a busy schedule, so I'm going to let him get on. That's it for this episode of Reloading with Rosie. If you need a kit list or if you have any questions before our next episode, you can find me on the Edgar Brothers website.